everybody, welcome to John's Briefs once again with Tim Forshee from Forshee Law here at C2 Tactical in their conference room in Scottsdale. Thank you to them. We had another cornucopia of stupid, and it seems like we're on a streak of...
I don't know how else you describe it. I think that's the perfect description.
Yeah,
cornucopia of stupid. It's spilling stupid all over the table. Yeah.
Some guy assaults Albus Dumbledore, and then Albus pulls a knife instead of his wand.
I thought it might have been Nicolas Cage for a minute, like the Night of the Witch or some movie like that.
And then we almost had an Avada Kedavra cast. Thankfully, nobody died in this one. But let's talk about who's at fault here.
To win the fight after the fight, you need help. After a use of force, I trust Firearms Legal Protection to help me win the fight for the rest of my life. From their 24/7 attorney-answered hotline to coverage for the use of all legal tools, Firearms Legal Protection has you covered. Get a discount by signing up at the link below. Lady starts taking cell phone video because there's an argument going on between a guy that you're gonna hear say, I picked up a receipt and handed it to you and you got mad about it. And they're having some kind of argument. The argument has escalated enough that this lady's decided she wants to take cell phone video of it, and it's going to escalate from there. It's a doozy. Let's listen in.
15 for 49.
I need to get this.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was trying to help you, asshole. Fuck you. I saw the receipt. I wasn't even trying to fuck with you, you idiot. I saw the receipt on the ground, and I handed it to you, and you got all fucking in my face. So fuck you, motherfucker. Fuck you.
Oh, dude. Oh my god. This is hilarious.
That's the first. Wow.
I could not find a news story about this. I don't know if the cops showed up. I don't know if anyone was arrested. I don't know what the ultimate outcome of this is. It's relatively recent that it happened, but I don't know if anybody was arrested. So if you have a better news story, would you let me know in the comments, please? Because I would love to see it.
So now you've seen it in all of its stupid glory. Man, why are you going to argue with somebody that, like, he's like, I'm just trying to help you, bro. And you're like, just go about your day.
Yeah.
And he's like, wants to get in your, have a nice day, put down whatever it is. I'm out of here.
We're talking about road rage. I don't know. I guess this is checkout rage. Two stupid people bump into each other, stupid things are going to happen. I mean, that's just kind of the way this works. Yeah.
Well, and to me, one of the big challenges here from a legal self-defense perspective is we talk about the innocent party.
Right.
And all right, so they're having a mutual argument. Adults use words, and sometimes you get into a word battle with somebody. You get into a frustrating discussion with somebody. Okay, except for then he knocks his hat off.
I mean, you'd have to. As I'm watching that video, I'm like, what kind of a guy? I mean, I used to wear cowboy hats back when I was shooting horses. I mean, hats are fine. Hats are cool. That's a weird hat.
It's a weird hat to be wearing in Signal Hill, California.
Look at me, I'm a Wiccan type of a hat.
Sure.
Right? And I would have. I mean, I hope I wouldn't have knocked it off, but I think I said, sir, could you please take off that hat if we're going to continue this conversation? Because I just can't have a conversation with you with that hat on. It was just so weird and irritating and strange.
But the guy seems to be a weirdo, but it's not.
It's not illegal.
Being creepy is not illegal. It's not a crime.
My family has a dear friend whose son wears a cape everywhere all the time. Which when he was 6 was kind of cute. Now he's like 17 and it's way beyond weird, but okay, he's a nice kid, he's polite, nice, but okay.
And him pissing you off with what he's saying or annoying you with his words doesn't give you the right to knock his hat off because that's assault.
That's an assault. You've escalated it, that's right.
So here's my problem with innocence in terms of being the aggrieved party.
Right.
He escalated the conflict.
Well, you could arguably say that as in Arizona, we have a rule that if you start the fight, you lose the right to claim self-defense.
There it is.
You have to break that off and then be re-engaged by the assaulter before you can re-engage and use self-defense legally in your defense. I didn't see any break off here. So I think you're right. The minute he knocked that hat off, he lost that veneer of innocence that would protect him. It's gone.
And you guys remember, I talk about this from time to time. Innocence is a spectrum. right? So very few of us, again, only Jesus is purely innocent at all times. Everyone else, we got some stink on us, right? But you want to be as close to Jesus as you can. You want to be Ned Flanders, right? You want to be Ward Cleaver. You want to be the good, sane, sober, moral, prudent person that was, I was doing nothing of any kind that could ever be seen or considered to be aggressive. Right. This guy, not so much. You knock the hat off, and then the other guy, puts his fists up like, hey man, you just assaulted me. And now we're having like really unskilled fisticuffs.
Yeah, that was kind of market as well.
Hop, 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 hop.
With their arms about here.
Have at you. Put up your dukes, you. But then Albus Dumbledore pulls a knife. Like, he turns into Crocodile Dundee.
And that looked like a knife, too.
Yeah, a big Crocodile Dundee knife. Yeah. So I think you can make the counter argument that says that the assaulter, not Albus Dumbledore, he started the physical altercation, but that other guy escalated it to deadly.
Correct. And that's what you have to argue, right? But
so now if you are the guy with the knife, if you're Albus Dumbledore, what's your justification for pulling the knife? Right. Well, he hit me, and so I got in a fight, and I was worried he was better at fighting than me. That doesn't justify pulling a knife on someone.
Absolutely not.
So guess what? He's better at fighting. I'm worried he's going to kick my butt, so I pull a knife. Friends, I'm telling you, if you get in a fist fight that you're worried that he's better at fist fighting and it's an even one-on-one fight, you may have to take the ass kicking. Yeah. And if you had...
Especially if you started it.
Right. Yeah. Well, but even though he didn't, the guy knocked his hat off. Yeah. You escalating the conflict. This is where a less lethal tool could be very, very helpful. An OC spray is a good friend here. Because again, the guy knocked my hat off. I was worried and then he threatened to punch me again. So I blessed him with the hot sauce and he went, wah! And then I called the cops.
You know what's less lethal and better than that is just don't get in the altercation.
Yeah, just don't get it right. Yeah, amen to that.
Whatever it was, he shortchanged me. I didn't like the way he said something. Whatever. Yeah. We live in a big society. Let it go.
Let it go. So then once Dumbledore pulls the knife and turns into Crocodile Dundee, then our guy decides, aha, I am a licensed concealed carrier.
I'm John Wick, yeah.
And now, that's not a knife.
And don't forget, California, so I don't know what county this was in, I guess I should have checked, but so maybe the guy's got a permit, but they're not exactly giving those away in California even now. So I'd say better than average chance that he didn't have a permit. Now, I could be wrong.
So there's interesting stuff there all around, because he could have a permit, depending. California's at least ostensibly shall issue, though some sheriffs are making it near impossible and takes forever and costs a bunch of money, and that's just garbage. So, okay, and let's just say he was a reasonable licensed concealed carrier. All right, so in gunfight, in defensive Rochambeau, gun beat knife, right? That's cool, but then again, is the district attorney going to say, but you started the fight, homie?
Yeah, I got to be honest. If I was the prosecutor in this, I'd probably figure out a way to charge both of them.
Yep.
I really would have.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, stupid is stupid, and dangerous stupid is dangerous. So I think we got to shut these guys down a little bit. I would prosecute both of them.
Dangerous stupid is bad for the community.
Yeah, worse than just stupid.
Yeah. Dangerous stupid. Now, there's interesting. I've seen a couple of arguments that apparently there is some case law in California in particular that if you're rolling...
Whatever you're about to say, nothing will surprise me. So
right. Yeah. That if you're rolling dirty... but they had a case where a guy was not licensed to carry a concealed firearm, got mugged, had a firearm on him, and shot a guy. Mm-hmm. And the district attorney was like, "Meh, have a nice day." Well,
it gets back to the doctrine of necessity.
Right.
You can break a law if it's required to do so in order to save a human life, for instance. So. He could have massaged that legally and still come out with that conclusion, I think. But
sure, well,
sometimes it's the bastard needed to killing defense, and
DA didn't charge
a certain
him.
Amount of sense there, yeah.
But the deceased family sued him.
Sure. Well, you can sue anybody you want if you got a crayon and $360.
Got all the way to the California Supreme Court. California Supreme Court says, in cases of justified conduct, there's no reason to ask the provenance of the weapon. It can be considered as if it appeared by magic.
They literally said that in their opinion?
In the opinion.
You love the Ninth Circuit. You gotta love the Ninth Circuit.
It's a California Supreme Court, so I've been told.
Yeah, but they've got the Ninth Circuit backing them up.
Right.
So,
And you're like, okay, cool.
Wow.
That's great case law.
That is.
Look at my magic gun. Oh, alakazam.
That's how they think of guns in California, though. So
true.
Yeah.
But here, again, a cornucopia, an absolute horn of plenty of stupid.
Yep. And once again, I'm always mystified. Look at what the bystanders are doing.
Yeah, everybody's just filming, watching.
And just you're watching a guy with a big old knife and a guy with a big old gun, both of whom have a cumulative IQ of about 61. If that gun starts going off, I think you're going to really wish you hadn't been standing there with a cell phone in your hand. Get to cover, for crying out loud.
Get away.
You don't go to, what's the old poem that when called by a panther, don't answer.
Don't answer. Look at that.
What are you doing going towards this? Get away from there, yeah.
And I really think, just because you get invited to a fight doesn't mean you have to RSVP. Okay? You just don't have to go.
Another one of his sayings I'm going to steal.
Somebody gives offense, don't mean you got to take it.
Yeah.
And if you handle that at that level and he's like, hey man, piss on you, you should have never done the thing. Totally right, man. My bad. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Have a nice day. I am going to heck off.
Let me pay for your groceries.
Yeah, I'm going to heck off and you have a fine day. Yeah. And you're right. I'm ugly. My wife is dumb, and you have a fine day. Yep. I just think that's the one that keeps me out of gunfights. That's the one that keeps me out of spending time in a state-sponsored gated community.
We always say, your lethal force is your last option, and I'll stand by that. I hope that's on my tombstone. Lethal force is your last option, but that doesn't mean you have an infinite number of options, right? You've got a limited amount of time and a limited amount of brain power. My first option is almost always apologize and offer to pay for their meal. Apologize and pay for their parking. Apologize and pay for their shoes, whatever it is. I'm wrong, you're right, I'm an idiot, my wife's stupid, like John just said. That's my second line of defense, if it's possible, and it usually is run. Right. The Nike defense. And that's and again, an old fat guy like me with bad knees, I don't have to cover 400 yards. I can cover 30 yards and get to a lockable door. And before you can get there with your axe handle, I just saved myself. I don't need my gun now, right? Those are two pretty easy ones you can burn in your memory and kind of go through pretty quickly, right? Now, after that, it starts getting creative and a little bit John Wickish and a little bit difficult. But apologize and run are pretty easy to memorize, right? Yeah. And those are going to get you out of, what would you say,
95%.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be all you need. So.
I've done this, hey, you're right, man. My bad. I'm so sorry. Yep. And I've even had...
I do it weekly.
Yeah. Well, and I've even had... I've told this story on the channel before. If bad words offend you, maybe muff me a sec. That, I've had somebody where we had a real situation with my middle child, Sympathy, and this guy got all pissed off. And then I was like, go ahead, man. And he looked at me out of his car door and he was like, fuck you. Like big and loud and mean. Yeah. And everybody paid attention. And I looked at him and I was like, you're right, bro. Fuck me. I literally said that to him.
And I've done the same thing, but you got to remember that might be that almost might be provocative as well.
I was like, no, so when you totally.
That's almost as bad as flipping them off, but yeah.
Totally, bro. Fuck me.
But if you
sorry.
Make it clear, look, you're right. I'm wrong. That was stupid of me. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
And then he peeled off down the road, and
knowing he's right.
My child was like, "What was that all about?" I don't know, man. And then we literally walked to our car. We'd parked the car at the gas pump. It was late at night. A couple of dudes filling up their motorcycle there, and I was like, "Hey guys, you okay?" And they were like, "Yeah, man." He goes, "You're the Asp guy, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, that's me." He goes, "That guy didn't know what he was about to get a hold of." I was like, "I'm just glad that everything was okay,
that's awesome,
man. We didn't have any problems. So you guys keep your shiny side up and have a good night." And off we went. And just getting away from problems is your answer, because every gunfight you don't get in, you win.
Yep,
that's as simple as that.
Exactly.
Because otherwise, I'm sure, Tim, when one of these guys calls you because they got hemmed up with charges, you'll take the retainer.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to take the case, and I'll do the best I can. And best case scenario, you're going to be out a whole bunch of money, and you're going to lose some freedom for some period of time.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So if one of these guys called you, what kind of retainer are you going to get from them?
Shots fired or shots not fired?
No, in that case, no shots fired.
In that case, no shots fired. I would do a bifurcated contract where you're hiring me to do the best I can to get the best plea or dismissal. And then if that doesn't work, then there's going to be a new contract for the trial. First contract in a case like this, probably $40,000. If I get it dismissed or if it's acceptable plea, you don't have any more money. If you won't accept the plea or they won't dismiss it and we're going to trial, now we're talking 6 figures.
So there you go, friends.
You were right. Yeah.
Good reason to have firearms legal protection, in my opinion, because $20 a month is better than 40 grand if things go perfect.
Make somebody else pay it. That's really
Make somebody else pay it. That's a good thing. But even better than that is don't get in the fight to begin with.
Because even if FLP, which is a great company, if FLP steps up and does everything that they're going to do, you're still eating jail food.
Right.
You're still losing your job. You're still losing the love of all of your friends and your relatives.
I don't know if you know this. The jail in New York County is run by the sheriff. Mm-hmm. And the sheriff does not buy Oscar Mayer bologna.
No. Oftentimes they don't even buy meat from animals that people normally
Right.
eat. Like
It's labeled fit for human consumption.
horse meat is very commonly fed in jails.
Yeah. And again, no Oscar Mayer bologna, no Wonder Bread. And what kind of bullcrap is that? Well, you're going to get all the bologna you can handle in the county jail, if you know what I mean. So stay out of there. Tim, sure appreciate the time.
Wait, I know what he's talking about. That's just not fun at all. Yeah. Always, buddy. Always got time for you. Thank you so much.